Hi, Rich Erickson, General Partner at Updata Partners. We are a growth stage private equity investor focused on software and software-enabled services businesses that's raised about $500 million to date. We like to invest in businesses that are typically between 5 million and 70 million in revenues, growing 20% or greater, and are enabled via intellectual property that's software-based to do what they do. So broadly, that includes areas like infrastructure software, security, storage, virtualization as an example of that, application software in vertical or horizontal markets, digital media and internet advertising-based businesses, e-commerce businesses also, and tech-enabled services businesses, so businesses that will combine people with software in a transaction. Spectrum K12 is a company focused on compliance software for No Child Left Behind programs in K12 districts. Spectrum K12 was an established business with an installed customer base and a great reputation in its own market. The acquisition provided an opportunity to expand that. Our capital went to fund that, and our operating expertise in particular in helping to scale businesses that are in the software industry was viewed as critical by them and us to helping them take the business to the next level. Post the acquisition, we found ourselves though in a position in which some of the operating costs between the two companies was not optimized, and that's really where we solicited TechCXO's help, and in particular Mike Casey's help. What we were looking for was, given the fact that we were bringing two companies together, it was important to have an objective view on how best to optimize the workforces. So we were looking for a third party to help us with that, and that's where TechCXO, I think, added a lot of value. So the workforce was resized to be more appropriately aligned with the revenue of the combined companies. Redundancies were eliminated. And the business's operating plan was made much more cash efficient. Ira Cohn, my partner, was the board member and the person day to day that was working most closely with the TechCXO team from Updata. Ira worked in the investment from the TechCXO's introduction through the ultimate sale. I think Ira's view was TechCXO was a critical, objective part of the team in helping to right-size this business, streamline this business, and establish the growth path that it ultimately got on. Yeah, probably within 3 months, TechCXO had assessed the situation, made recommendations to the board and the investors that were implementable. We initiated those almost immediately with their help. And another thing that TechCXO was very helpful in to us was we, at the time, were looking for a combined CEO now for the two new businesses. They also were kind enough to introduce us to a gentleman named Jim Marshall, who we ultimately hired and became the CFO, and actually introduced the business to a much broader and larger market opportunity called response to intervention. Post the implementation of some of the recommendations that TechCXO had worked with the company on, the company also received and solicited incremental funding, was successful in that effort. TechCXO and the team was very helpful in allowing and positioning the company to do that. Our view on exit, it was building a great business. The exit will take care of itself. The response to intervention program that Spectrum initiated created great visibility for the business as a market and industry leader, and ultimately led to some inquiries from soliciting companies that culminated in an M&A event, a very successful one. Look, this is a business of relationships and trust. I had a strong relationship with Mike Casey from his IXL and other operating days, felt very comfortable with his and trusting of his expertise and the team that he had created. I think, looking outside in situations in which you've got two companies coming together, for example, is a great way to get very objective views. Oftentimes, there will be constituencies in each organization that have an opinion based just on their own experience. So it's helpful to get a third party's view in being objective and achieving the right result.